Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows a semicircular prism. As you can see, we have a cross-section area is a semicircle with a horizontal rectangular base ABCD. So ABCD. Now this is given to you in the diagram. Now the vertical ends are AED, AED, and BFC. Okay. The radius is 6, this is 6, this is 6, and this is also 6. These are the radius values. Okay, so what's next? The midpoint of AD is O and M right here. Okay, good to know. And the points E and F are the highest points on the semicircle. Okay, good to know. These are the highest points on the semicircle. Okay, the point P lies on EF such that EP is 8. Now we can conclude something here. If this is 8, it means this will have to be 12, right? Because the whole thing is 20. 20 minus 8 is 12, obviously. Let's move on to the questions. Now, using I, J, and K, for this one, in terms of I, J, and K, we have to find vectors PA and PN. Let's first find PA. So finding PA means from P go to A. So let's see how can we find this. From P going to A. P is right here. We have to go to A right here. So step by step. As you can see, we first have to move from P to go back to E, right? P going to E. And then from E we can move down to O. And then finally from O we can go to A. That's how we can move from P to A. Now let's find those values one by one. So P to E. Now because J is in this direction, right? We understand that going from P to E will be in the opposite direction. So I have to be negative J. And the length is 8. That will be minus 8J. That's the first step. Now EO, from E going down to O. But now we know O going up to E, in this direction it is K, but going down now in the opposite direction have to be minus K. So minus, this value will be 6 because it's the radius, K, plus OA, same way of understanding. I will be in this direction, but in this direction will be negative I, and the length is minus 6I. That will be minus 6I minus 8J minus 6K. That will be part 1 of your question in finding PA. The next one, we have to find PN. From P going to N is right here. Again, step by step, no need to rush. What is the first thing you can do? So from P, let me write this over here. P going to N. From P, I can go to E. Again, P going to E. Right. E, I can go back to O. Okay. And O, I can go to D. O going to D. And then D going to N. Okay, as you can see, step by step, we were able to move from P and to N. So these first two values we know already. So P is minus 8J plus minus 6K. So OD, O going to D will be 6I, obviously, because I is in this direction and the length is 6, that will be 6I. And then DN will be in this direction. This length is given to you by what? So N is the midpoint, right? N is, let's see, where's N? So the midpoint here, the midpoint is N, which means this is 10, and this have to be 10. So D to N, that will have to be value of 10. It is in this direction, that will be J. So simplify, you will have 6I, 10 minus 8 will be plus 2J, and minus 6K. So these will be the values of PN and PA for part 1 of your question. Now moving on. We have to use scalar product to find the angle APN. So from P, this, and this. So now we have all the vectors we need already. We just need to use the formula we know for finding the angle, which is PA dot of PN, that will be magnitude of PA, times magnitude of PN, cos of the angle APN. So we just have to replace back in this formula and then solve for the value of P, which is the angle. Now PA, we have found this was given to you by -6, -8, -6. PN was found to be 6, 2, -6. So to find the magnitude is pretty easy. We'll just have to square the value. So -6 squared is 36, plus 64 plus 36. That will be root of 136. Now for this one, same thing. Square of 6 will be 36, plus 4 plus 36. That will be 76. Cos of the angle APN. Now let's try to simplify this. -6 times 6 plus -8 times 2 plus -6 times -6. That will be -16. That will be 136 and 76 of cos of APN. Now we have to make cos become subject, so you have cos of APN is equal to -16 divided by this value, right? And then the last step is pretty simple. We just have to find the angle. APN will be cos inverse of this whole thing over here. Okay, so -16 divided by root of 136, root of 76, this, and then cos inverse of that will give you 99.05. Correct to one decimal place will be 99.1 degrees. And that will be your question, part 2, to finding the angle APN.